Now coming to the moderator for today's session, Director Ernst & Young. Give a big round of applause for Mr. Ranjan Mathu. Thank you so much, sir. Time to honor our Principal Secretary, Labor, Employment Training and Factories Department Managing Director, Vice Chairperson, Tomcom Shri M. Danakishore Sir, IAS. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, all right, to give a big round of applause. Time to felicitate and honor our minister for this beautiful evening, Shri Gaddam Vivek Venkataswamy Garu, with a huge round of applause. Minister for Labor, Employment, Training and Factories, Mines and Geology. So, we can, please. Everyone, can you please step 2 steps forward? Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, for our Honorable Minister, Shri Gaddam Vivek Venkataswamy Gariki, Gattiga mi kartal dhvanito, let's. The Tomcom, the government of Telangana's official overseas recruitment and mobility agency, an organization built on trust, transparency and safety. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Tomcom, the amazing session today enabling thousands to pursue meaningful and dignified careers across the world. Thank you so much.
We cordially thank all the dignitaries on the dais, all our esteemed panelists and speakers, all our honorable ministers, each and everyone who have contributed to the welfare of the society and for the Vision 2047. Thank you so much for your valuable contribution.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are yet another amazing session coming up now. I request all of you to please be seated and comfortable in your places. We are setting up the dais for the next session.
Telangana is a land designed by nature for prosperity and human progress. It is one of the few regions in the world blessed with a stable natural environment, free from major calamities like earthquakes, cyclones, and floods. Telangana is naturally built for growth. Rich mineral reserves, fertile soil, abundant water, and a climate ideal for living, wellness, and tourism. From forests and waterfalls to ancient temples and sacred landscapes, nature and spirituality coexist here with rare harmony. And beyond nature, Telangana's greatest strength is its people. A culture of unity, inclusiveness, and peaceful coexistence that welcomes talent, trade, and innovation while staying rooted in tradition. At the heart of Telangana stands Hyderabad, a city that has never been shaken, never slowed, and never stopped evolving. Long before the IT revolution, Hyderabad was already building India's strongest defense and innovation backbone. HCL, BDL, BHEL, DRDO, and other strategic giants made this soil unbreakable.
Ladies and gentlemen, now my absolute
That
pleasure to
heritage
welcome
didn't
all
just
of you. Can we
grow
have the volume low, please?
it
Thank you.
fortified it. Today, the same legacy powers a new era. A world-class international airport, elite education and training hubs, and an IT ecosystem that is expanding beyond limits. Hyderabad has become more than a city. It is a global ecosystem where defense meets deep tech, where learning meets enterprise, where tradition.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Request all of you to kindly settle down for the next amazing session again. The final and third session for this evening. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, it's my absolute pleasure to welcome all of you for the final third session in this evening. Can we all please take our seats? I request everyone to kindly settle down quickly. We are moving ahead with the final session of the day. We cannot afford to make more delay. I request each and everyone to please clear the aisle and have your seats, please. I repeat, I request each and everyone to kindly settle down. We are moving ahead with the third session, ladies and gentlemen. I request your attention, your kind attention, please. I request everyone to please clear the stage area and the aisle as we are proceeding with the third session. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, my absolute pleasure to invite all of you and welcome all of you to today's third panel discussion on gig economy, the rise of fluid careers, a topic that sits at the intersection of technology, labor rights, and the evolving nature of work itself, which is also fast growing globally as well as India. Today's conversation brings together a diverse group of experts, practitioners, policymakers, and worker representatives. Their insights will help us better understand the opportunities and challenges of platform-based work and explore how societies can build systems that are innovative, inclusive, and fair to all the stakeholders. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we are beginning this amazing evening, the last session of this day. I request our honorable panelists, our moderator, our keynote speakers. We are awaiting for the minister to arrive. We have our honorable minister again joining us for the session. Let us quickly welcome our honorable minister, ladies and gentlemen, for LET&F Mining, Shri Gaddam Vivek sir, with a huge round of applause. Sir, meer vaste gaani ikkada maaku ye pani prarambham avadani nirnayinchukuntu calling you beginning. All right, let's quickly call upon Dr. Samarendra Mohanty garu with a huge round of applause, the moderator of the event of the evening now. Can we quickly call upon Dr. Samarendra Mohanty? All right, there's a small change. We have a moderator, ILO Ranjit Prakash Garu, with a huge round of applause. Let's welcome him. Hearty welcome, sir. Moving ahead, calling upon the public policy head, Uber, Megha Singh, with a huge round of applause, please. She's joining virtually. All right, that's amazing. Calling upon Professor Vasanthi, NALSAR, Nalsar. Huge round of applause to her as we welcome. Moving on, calling upon Ms. Aishwarya Omi Foundation with a huge round of applause. Meanwhile, I request all of them who are sitting at the back, please occupy the frontmost chairs for the next panel discussion. Thank you. May we call upon the advocate M. Radhakrishna Murthy Garu with a huge round of applause, please. Also, let's welcome Telangana Gig Workers Union Ninchi, Sheikh Saluddin, the president. Huge round of applause for him. Before we start with the amazing panel discussion. We have a small film on it. Can we have the film video, please? All right, thank you. So that was the film. Can we hear a resounding applause? I know the energy is low in the evening, but then we are rising. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Quickly moving forward, my absolute pleasure to once again invite Shri Gaddam Vivek Venkat Swami Garu with a huge round of applause, our Honorable Minister for LET and F Mining. You can use this.
Good evening to everybody, distinguished guests on the dais, and my dear friends. It is my privilege to address this distinguished gathering at the 2047 Telangana Rising Global Summit, a platform where ideas, innovation, ambition converge to shape the future of our state. Today's session on gig and platform workers is both timely and vital as we stand at the frontier of a global transformation in the world of work. Gig economy, a defining transition in modern work. Over the past decade, the gig and platform economy has emerged as one of the most dynamic labor segments in India and across the world. With the growth of digital platforms and real-time service delivery models, work is increasingly flexible, technology-enabled, and service-driven. Millions of workers today earn their livelihood through mobility, services, food delivery, logistics, home services, e-commerce support, and digital microtasks. India already has over 1 crore gig and platform workers, and this number is projected to grow rapidly. These workers kept our cities running during critical moments, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, proving their value, commitment, and resilience. In Telangana, particularly in the greater Hyderabad region, the platform economy has become deeply woven into daily life. Gig workers support our mobility, our households, our delivery systems, and our digital economy. Their role is central to our state's modern economic engine. While the gig economy offers opportunity and flexibility, it also presents challenges that cannot be ignored. Many gig workers lack access to social security, health benefits, accident protection, predictable income, and grievance redressal systems. Their work is often shaped by algorithms, rating systems, and incentive structures that they have little control over. Women gig workers, especially those in mobility and delivery sectors, face distinct safety and accessibility challenges. This evolving world of work requires new models of governance, new social protection mechanisms, and new forms of tripartite agreements. It calls upon governments, platforms, and worker groups to collaborate and ensure fairness and dignity for the workforce. National reforms and Telangana's preparedness. The Government of India, through the Social Security Code 2020, has taken an important step by recognizing gig and platform workers. With labor codes scheduled for implementation from November 2025, states must create rules, welfare structures, and administrative systems to operationalize these protections. I am proud to share that Telangana is amongst the first states in the country to proactively prepare for this transition. Even ahead of national implementation, Telangana has been working to design a comprehensive, future-ready welfare framework for gig and platform workers. Telangana's leadership in gig workers' welfare. Telangana believes that gig and platform workers deserve recognition, protection, and opportunity. Our state has drafted a forward-looking gig workers' welfare and regulation bill which aims to formalize gig and platform workers, provide a strong welfare and social security framework, enable transparent engagement between workers and platforms, strengthen dispute redressal and worker safety, promote responsible platform practices and algorithmic fairness. Without going into granular details, I want to emphasize that this draft bill reflects fairness, accountability, and long-term sustainability. It is aligned with both the spirit of the labor codes and the international best practices, digital worker registry and e-governance strengths. Telangana plans to establish a unified digital registry for gig workers integrated with T-App, Folio, and other platforms. This digital system will support seamless registration of workers, direct benefit transfer of welfare schemes, real-time access to insurance and protection, skill profiling and training linkages, transparent monitoring and compliance platforms. Through this, the Telangana intends to build one of India's most advanced digital governance systems for platform workers. Social security and support systems. We are committed to strengthening social protection for gig workers, including accident and life insurance, access to state health schemes, safety measures for women and gig workers, linkages with skill development programs, targeted support for vulnerable categories. These initiatives reflect our belief that every worker deserves security, dignity, and opportunity. Tripartite and multi-stakeholder collaboration. Gig worker welfare cannot be built by government alone. It needs the combined effort of government departments, platform companies, worker associations and trade unions, civil society organizations, international labor bodies. I am pleased that today's dialogue includes the ILO, Nalsar University, OMI Foundation, Karnataka Labor Department, representatives from trade unions, showcasing the collaborative spirit necessary for shaping the future of work. Learning from global experiences. Gig worker is a global phenomenon and Telangana is actively studying models from Europe, Singapore, UK and other regions. We draw inspiration from EU platform work directives, Singapore's social security models, Spain's rider laws, ILO fair work principles. Our goal is not merely to follow global benchmarks, but to lead with a model that suits India's realities and Telangana's aspirations. Telangana's vision for 2047. As we look forward, Telangana envisions a labor ecosystem that is inclusive, ensuring equal access to safety and social protection for all its workers. Digital first, leveraging technology, AI, and real-time systems. Gender responsive, promoting safety and opportunity for women workers. Globally benchmarked, aligned with ILO standards and global innovations. Economically empowering, enabling stability, skills, and long-term growth. In this vision, gig and platform workers are not informal workers on the margins. They are the central contributors to Telangana's economic transformation. In closing, I extend my appreciation to the Labour Department for hosting this meaningful discussion. I thank all the esteemed partners and panelists for joining us today. Therefore, we will ensure that Telangana becomes a national and global leader in building a fair, inclusive, and future-ready gig worker ecosystem. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Telangana.
Thank you very much, sir, for your very insightful words, ensuring, the workers and the businesses' welfare and rights in the platform economy. So I understand we have limited time. We are supposed to conclude by 7:30 or so. So given the time framework, we'll manage the panel discussion, sir. But before we start the panel discussion, I wanted to share a few words from ILO side. So Honorable Labour Minister for Mr. Sri Venkat Swamiji, Principal Secretary Dr. Dana Kisorji, distinguished panelists, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to say that this is a very timely discussion, and inclusion of this topic in this summit shows the commitment of the government of Telangana to ensure a solid ecosystem for the platform economy, which provides the opportunity for the businesses and the gig workers both. Sir, ILO, as the only tripartite United Nations agency responsible for normative standard, we call it convention, ILO has also recognized the importance of understanding and extending the social protection and labor protection to the workers in the platform economy, and therefore, in 2026, ILO will come out with international labor standard on the platform economy, that is called Convention on Platform Economy. And this year in particular, sir, is very timely because in the ILO International Labour Conference, we had a very detailed discussion on the platform economy, the workers' welfare as well as the businesses' growth, both, and the consumer welfare perspective. Considering, though I was supposed to share with you the global legislations on different dimensions of labor protection in platform economy. In India, the focus has been on social security mainly, but many countries of the world have taken into account the labor protection angles, in particular the work hours, etc. So I will not go into all those details because it will certainly come out during the panel discussion, and we'll highlight the needs of those. But finally, I would like to share that the Code on Social Security, which has been announced for operationalization, marks an important milestone by legally recognizing gig and platform workers for the first time in India and extending welfare measures such as life and health insurance, maternity benefits, etc. At the same time, this bold step is receiving appreciation worldwide, and also the state governments, because the labor is a concurrent subject. So certain state governments are also working on this kind of legislation proactively. For example, Rajasthan, Telangana, Karnataka, and Jharkhand. And I would like to take this moment to extend my appreciation to the state of Telangana, which extended a much needed double layer of accidental cover for platform workers for the first time in the country. And currently, the state legislation on the same subject matter has been approved by the cabinet, and we are looking forward to be passed by the assembly. So I would invite the attention of the distinguished panelists. As I said, we have paucity of time, so let me go through. So we have, you can see the 4 panelists sitting on the dais, but one member is also there online. She unfortunately couldn't join us in person because of the chaos created by Indigo and the airlines. So we have the honor to have Professor D.N. Vasanthi, who is Registrar Nalsa University, Hyderabad, a senior academic and legal scholar with over 2 decades of experience. And she has a lot of experience on constitutional law, labor law, and gender justice. And we take this opportunity to ask you, Professor Vasanthi, that considering platform economy as a new norm, or is a modern day reality, what are the challenges and opportunities in the platform economy for the workers, especially from a legal perspective? And just to add it, does the national law on the Social Security Code provide full protection to these workers in this country? Your views, please.
Good evening. Thank you for the introduction. I would like to begin by congratulating the government for putting together such an excellent panel in what is essentially a economic summit. It really shows the commitment of the state towards the ideas that they have been promoting as social justice and inclusion. So to have a panel on labor, even if it is a short panel, I think the fact that it shows a commitment to inclusion and social justice is very, very heartening to see. So all my congratulations to the government for putting this panel together. I'll also congratulate the Labour Department for inviting me and inviting experts in the area who will evidently present very diverse points of view. All of us are representing particular ideas, and as the Honorable Minister has already said, there is a need for a dialogue between all of the partners for us to come up with solutions. It cannot be a one-sided decision taken by any one section that is involved in this entire process. So my congratulations to the Labour Department for putting together this panel. Even though we have very little time, the Honorable Minister, I think, has covered most of the issues that we are facing. He has also touched upon the Social Security Code, and as well as the very, very interesting Telangana Gig Workers Act that we are proposing. And I would take this forum to request that the Act be notified at the earliest, because it is one of the very fine models of a very balanced approach towards the issue, as well as the first and a very innovative legislation which is pointing to the federal structure of the country. Even the morning we've been talking about the fact that India is a federal country and both the central and the state governments have equal responsibility in the field of labor. And for a long time, most of the codes have been central legislations, and very few legislations from the states have been as interesting as the Telangana Gig and Platform Workers Act. So I would say that this is a legislation that deserves to be notified and brought into effect at the earliest, because it covers aspects which the Social Security Code doesn't. The Honorable Minister has covered most of the points, and I really have just two very critical points to add here. One critical point is when one looks at the question of gender, it is usually tied only to the question of safety. Whereas with reference to the gig and platform economy, what we are finding, especially those of you who are familiar with the uproar that happened when domestic work became part of the platform, that you could avail of domestic service for as low as 40 rupees an hour, was raised as a huge issue, because it is reproducing the earlier approach of not valuing care work. The previous panel also we saw that care work is emerging as a huge area of employment for women also. And so the problem there is not only the question of security, but also the valuation of work that women do. So unless care work is properly valued, and all of the codes, the 4 codes which have been introduced, continue to exclude domestic workers, continue to exclude care work. There is no specific framework for this. So this is still a very critical area that one needs to look at, that when one looks at gender and only ties it up with the question of security, then we are missing out on the larger picture of how does one value work that is done by women in so many sectors. The other very critical question is even the Social Security Code conflates the concept of welfare and social protection. That while welfare is a very critical area, social protection for all continues to be a very, very important mandate, which needs to extend beyond only the question of, let's say, working conditions or minimum wage, which are the two major issues as far as gig and platform economy is concerned, that there is no way of understanding when work starts and when work ends, what are working hours, and what is the minimum wage that a person can expect after spending so many hours at the work. So what is the kind of social protection that is needed to supplement the fact that there are no minimum wages and there are no minimum hours of work, or they are very difficult to identify? And the role of the state in providing this social protection is something that we need to take on board as we move ahead with the legislations. So again, I would like to conclude by saying that including this panel is reflecting a constitutional vision of an inclusive society, that the Indian Constitution has promised fairness and justice, and that is what this panel and this discussion is promising, that there will be justice and that there will be fairness to all parties. And these continue to be legal challenges, because right now the Telangana High Court is also entertaining a petition against Zomato with reference to the blocking of an ID, which is an arbitrary and a discriminatory measure. So these are legal and constitutional issues of fairness, arbitrariness and discrimination, which are going to be litigated, and it is better that we have a framework where all parties acknowledge that injustice and unfairness and arbitrariness will not continue for a long time. So with this, I would like to again thank the organizers for inviting me, and I'm looking forward to the other panelists' presentations.
Thank you, madam. And thank you very much for highlighting the need of social protection and ongoing legal litigations, and also for need for some kind of solid framework. So now I'll move to Ms. Aswarya Raman, who is the Executive Director of OMI Foundation Trust, and she is the leading sustainability and technology transition initiative professional. She leads a multidisciplinary team working with the governments on energy, mobility, livelihood, and technology transitions. So, at the OMI Foundation, you have undertaken extensive evidence-based studies on India's gig and platform workers. Please throw some light on findings and the challenges as well in the world of work of platform economy. Also, what would you like to recommend for the government and the industry both, based on the findings and the fieldwork experiences, to make the platform economy inclusive? And we have limited time, just 4 minutes.
Thank you so much, Ranjit, for throwing that challenge at me at answering both the questions in 4 minutes' time. First of all, huge congratulations and deep gratitude to Honorable Minister and the rest of the government of Telangana for organizing this important global summit and for also putting this panel together, sir. Sir and respected audience, I'm going to be talking about pioneering progress, unifying purpose, Telangana's leadership in India's platform economy journey. I had put a presentation together, but in the interest of time, I'll limit in my remarks to just sharing the key highlights of several of our studies over the last 6 years. At OMI Foundation, we've been studying the platform economy closely for 6 years, sir. We've conducted several large-scale studies involving 5,000 plus workers across 12 cities, majorly metropolitan cities, but also Tier 2 and Tier 3 markets. We've also interviewed over 600 women, both within and outside the platform economy, to understand what motivates people, youngsters and veterans alike, to take up gig jobs. Here are our findings, right? So we view that gig and platform economy tying in with this concept of Telangana becoming a $3 trillion economy is that gig and platform economy form the key to unlock hundreds of millions of livelihood opportunities for India, and especially for a state as young as Telangana and with huge aspirations entailed. The ubiquity of smartphones, availability of affordable data has truly transformed how we move, how we work, and how we live. It has given rise to jobs not only that are highly visible to us, these are your delivery jobs, your driving jobs, perhaps the professional home services that are provided by workers to us in the comforts of our homes, but these are also platformization and gigification of jobs on the higher end of the skill spectrum that is taking place. Through our studies, also our collaboration with Niti Aayog to sort of put the report together on India's booming gig and platform economy, we looked at 100 top cities in India in the age group of 18 to 45, largely urban population. Several crores of workers are already engaged in gig jobs. Like I said, these range from your low-end to medium skill spectrum, but also medium to high-end skill spectrum, including your legal or design professionals who are providing gig services online. The reason I'm highlighting this is also because as we draft legislations, we've got to look at the fact that one-size-fits-all approach is not going to work for us. We will need to customize this depending on the sectors, depending on the industry, occupations, etc., that are ranging in this space. The Code on Social Security, like panelists have mentioned before me, does one thing well, which is it throws and provides legal recognition to two new categories of workers, gig and platform workers. This is a model which is unlike any we see in the rest of the world, and that provides an interesting and unique opportunity for us to carve our own path and allow the global south to perhaps adopt the India, the Telangana models as their own blueprints. In the studies that we've done, both on the mobility platform ecosystem as well as the professional home services platform ecosystem, we've seen that flexibility of labor is continuing to attract a lot of youngsters as well as veterans who've previously been engaged in driving jobs themselves or hold full-time occupations elsewhere to take up gig jobs. We also see important insights emerging in terms of earnings, in terms of delineation of labor, all of which is far superior to what we see in the unorganized blue-collar workforce. For women especially, this delineation of work has also allowed for higher pay, better working conditions compared to unorganized, informal and blue-collar opportunities that would otherwise exist to them. And lastly, sir, in terms of a key insight, I'd like to submit that at a pan-India study that we conducted, we found that just giving a mobile phone and internet access to women increases their time spent on searching for a job or taking up an educational or economic opportunity. Now, this is important because this is going to directly impact the GDP of a state. Our Pan-India study tells us that just equipping all women with smartphones enabled with internet can add at least a few $100 billion to our economy, sir. And I think this is what the economy can drive forward for us. In terms of recommendations, I think Professor Vasanthi spoke eloquently about a lot of the measures that the states can take, that the central government should also consider. Above that, I think my one submission would be how state governments can make it easy for enterprises in the platform economy to also emerge. This is our key driver of job creation. A lot of our efforts should also be to see how easy it is to set up a platform business and how easy it is to thrive. So how can we give rise to entrepreneurs? Thank you.
Thank you, Aishwarya, for managing the time as well and sharing the experiences and the policy recommendations. Now I'll move to Mr. Sheikh Salahuddin, who is the founder president of Telangana Gig and Platform Workers Union. He has had led nationwide campaign advocating for fair pay, social security, worker rights, and road safety. He has also worked in select state with the governments on drafting legislation for gig and platform workers. So, Mr. Salahuddin, since you have been working very closely with the platform-based transport workers across the country, how do you perceive these state-level legislations protecting the rights of the workers as well as other categories of platform-based workers? Please.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much giving this opportunity, Honorable Chief Minister Revant Reddy ji and Vivek Venkata ji, Minister for Labour. Telangana is national leading and global gig and platform economy. As the State President of Telangana Gig and Platform Workers Union, drivers, delivery boys and home-based workers at the ground, we have to rights from the worker safety, security and at the same time road accidents, everything. But we have lot of things in aggregator side. We have to facing the biggest challenges, like harassment of work pressure, algorithm and time management. The target should be 10-minute delivery. This is the big challenge nowadays. Our campaigning like gig and platform workers, not only that only safety, security from the workers, at the same time consumers and customers. We have to take selfie with seat belt campaigning. Also we have to create lot of mileage the awareness campaignings. Now glass of water also, the high temperature of uh, in the summer, that time we have to create the campaigning glass of water onwards. We have to unions and unions, associations, government and aggregator companies, how to sit and discuss the worker safety and security. This is the very important things will be there. Lot of missings from the sometimes, you know, the aggregator companies, the relationship between the aggregators very gap, because employee-employee relationship not will be there. That's why all the aggregators not come to sit together to discuss with us. But we have to ready to discuss with social security, like dignity of the workers, is the gig economy is the very raising in Telangana. That's why we have to try to sit together, our aggregator companies, governments and unions, to create the awareness and workers protection and safety. Now by the Telangana 2047, we can universal social security, we have to plan including in this vision. And the state government, lot of things will be as soon as upcoming days as promises with us. Not only legislation, not only social security, not only social protection, we have to workers how to save and future of raising the Telangana. At the same time, we have government of Telangana, ESIC, PF, health, maternity pension in upcoming bill was recently passed in cabinet, but when upcoming cabinet will be approved, when goes to assembly, the bill was passed, this all are including in that bill. Thanks to Honorable Minister Saab, who was everything should be worker side has listening, and lot of stakeholder meetings to round table meetings and discussions with the workers, aggregators and government, and take the inputs and better policies. And finally, we have to fight with the government. Still no, already Professor Madam has told wages is missing in our draft. We have to full hope upcoming days wages should be including the our bill in future of work. Now the workers has nowadays facing very big challenge. That is the single word. That is the okay, sir. That is minimum wages. That guarantee should be comes that with all the drivers, delivery boy, and home-based workers should be very happy. And the part of gig economy, we have thanks to Telangana government, and we have to ready to move forward tripartite discussions to move forward, like aggregator companies, government and unions, to make a policy to be and fair and technological, and at the same time vision of 2047. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Salahuddin ji, for highlighting the labor protection angle as well. There is one online. Okay, right. This. Now we have Ms. Megha Singh, who is available online. Megha perhaps can't hear us, but she can share her views. So Megha, please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sorry, my bad. Good evening to all the distinguished dignitaries on the panel and the members of the audience. My name is Megha Singh. I represent Uber, and it is a great pleasure to be joining the session today. I would have really liked to join you in person, but Indigo had other plans for me. And with all the flights being cancelled, I could not make it, and I apologize for that. I would like to sincerely thank the Labour Department and the Telangana Rising Committee for giving us the opportunity to present our views on this exceedingly important subject. To start with, I would just like to look at the impact which gig work has had. In the dynamic landscape of contemporary labor and commerce, the gig economy has emerged as a truly transformative force. It is reshaping traditional employment structures and unlocking new avenues of economic participation. Uber today supports a community of about 1.4 million earners in India. This shows the scale and importance of gig work in the country. Gig work matters because it provides flexibility and choice. People can decide how, when, where, and when they want to work. For many, it is the pathway to income, independence, and building a new future, especially for young people. The government of Telangana's strong focus on ease of doing business, predictable regulation, and quick administrative processes has made Hyderabad one of the most supportive markets for technology-led platforms. This clarity and stability has allowed companies like ours to expand services and in turn create more and more earning opportunities for millions who depend on flexible work. Telangana's governance model is a leading example of how progressive policy can unlock livelihoods at scale. As the state is in the policy formulation process for gig work, we would like to share a few guiding principles for how these frameworks can be shaped to the best advantage of all that are involved in this process. The first guiding principle that we would like to focus on is preserving independence. Gig work has to and must remain flexible and autonomous because that is truly valued by people to have the choice on when they want to work and which platform they would like to work for and where they would want to work. The second is ensuring portability. Benefits should follow workers across the states and platforms, as gig workers will move from one sector to another and from one state to another. And that is why having portability of benefits is absolutely essential. The third one is universal coverage. We believe that all gig workers, irrespective of sectors, irrespective of the type of work that they do or the kind of business model that a platform would have, should be covered under the social security frameworks that the state is developing. The fourth principle is a clarity of benefits. Uh, it would it would be when schemes are clearly spelling out what are the benefits and that people are being able to access, it would truly provide a great direction and a great vision to the social security frameworks. And lastly, but most importantly, there has to be fostering of innovation. Regulation should protect innovation without stifling job creation. So, as we look ahead and think about strengthening worker protections through partnership and collaboration, we'd again want to share our deep appreciation for the government of Telangana's consultative and collaborative approach. The state has truly taken all points of view across months now, and they've always remained receptive. The willingness that the Labour Department, the senior officials, and the Honorable Labour Minister have shown to engage with industry, worker groups, civil society reflect the state's commitment to designing a framework that is both progressive and workable. Over the last couple of weeks, there have been significant changes in the social security domain. One of them being the Code on Social Security. And we hope that the state would also consider the implications of these new changes in the policy. Telangana has long demonstrated that economic growth and social welfare does not need to be competing objectives. And we really look forward to work with the state to create balanced, future-ready, and innovation-friendly social security frameworks. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you, Megha, for sharing your views for greater alignment and uniformity in regulatory framework across the states in the country. Finally, I would request Sri Radhakrishna Murthy. Mr. Murthy, since you are a senior advocate with expertise in labor and employment laws, how do you see the proposed Telangana legislation for gig workers, especially in terms of what already been mentioned in the legislation and what potentially can be covered, if any? So I know it's a long question, but just highlights, bullet points, because we have 1.5 minutes. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I quite understand. I'm conscious of the time, perhaps 1 minute here or there, 1.5 minute now I think maybe over. And good evening and respected Honorable Labour Minister Vivek Garu and the other respected dignitaries. And I thank the Telangana government and the Labour Department to give me this opportunity. And really it is a boon for the gig and platform workers. And the Telangana, government of Telangana proved that being human is more important than to be the human being. And these gig workers are most unorganized. Now, by virtue of this legislation, they are organized. And other thing is that they are exposed to dust, climate conditions, and seasonal diseases, pollution, traffic, stress, so many things. But when you look at the benefits part of it, it is most unorganized. And the Telangana government of Telangana, first of its kind, and at the threshold in the beginning itself, they brought this legislation. I say it is really boon. And another thing, there are certain suggestions what I can give, subject to the government convenience and other things. Now there is a minimum wage, it is a task-oriented. There is no fixed wage. There is no fixed minimum wage for. But even this job also needs certain time in the traffic for the deliveries or like domestic workers, urban clubs, so on and so forth. Hourly wage can be fixed even for the piece-rated workers under the Minimum Wages Act in the manufacturing and as well as part-time workers also. Here also for every task, the aggregators can fix a time depending on the distance, nature of work, and number of hours they can pay rather the task so that their employment wage is secured. The another thing what I could find in this thing, it is not only bringing the legislation, it has to be taken to the people and the beneficiaries. So he has to make them to avail the benefits. Justice not only be done, it should seem to have been done. And normally the task-oriented. And also there is a thing, regularization of the payments that are due and payable to the gig workers. At times they may not be able to reach on time, there may be penalties, there may be deductions, that has to be taken care of. He should not be punished for no fault of him if he is caught up in the traffic and so on and so forth. So these are the things normally that. Another thing is also, for them to have any claim, there should be a quasi-judicial officer notified by the government. I didn't find it in the legislation so far, where they can approach the quasi-judicial officer for the claim. If the wages are not paid, if the piece rate payment is not made, where they would be able to. Now the grievance redressal board is there. Of course, now they are also prone for the accidents when they are driving, and Honorable Labour Minister extensively covered everything, the welfare benefits that are available, health insurance, accident policies, so on and so forth. Another thing is also the digital working hours to be monitored, the number of calls. It has to be digitally maintained, like there is a muster roll, there is an attendance for the organized workforce. Even for this workforce also, there should be monitoring of their attendance, attending the calls, and the number of, so whether they are proportionately getting the wages, whether the wage part is properly. Another thing is also like construction workers, they say some safety equipment be provided, like the helmets, so on and so forth. Even the gig workers need some safety equipment. In the winter, they need a woolen wear. In the rainy season, because some of the poor persons, they may not be able to. I saw many people who come for the delivery, they completely drenched in the rain and come to me. And it is so pretty. Even in the night, 10 o'clock, they deliver it and other things. That also to be, it can be produced even in the rules. For every act, there will be rules. Under the rules, it can be prompted that the aggregator should provide the minimum safety equipment like helmets when they are driving, or the woolen wear, or the rain jackets, or whatever it is. That would, if that is provided, that would be better for them. And also, so many benefits because of my land trend only gave me a minute and a half, and your all might have been tired and looking to retire for the day, and it is the fag end of the day. I quite understand. That can be discussed later also with the department, and with the coordination we can give many more suggestions. I thank once again the Labour Department for giving me an opportunity, and the Honorable Labour Minister for bringing such a beautiful legislation, which is the boon really for the gig workers. And government, once again, I can say, emphasize, proved that being human is more important than to be the human being. That's
much. Thank you all. And Mr. Murthy, thank you very much for sharing your views on the existing legislation of Telangana and also suggesting equally important provisions possibly to be included like occupational safety and health, etc. I'm sure that the government will take note of your suggestions. So this is the time to conclude the discussion. I can see it's already, we have crossed 7:30, the time limit which was given to us. But the audience in the house remains as static as they were when we started the session. I'm sorry if I have done injustice to any of the panelists because of the time paucity, but it happens when you are the last person or last session, as you can see with our session as well. We had to conclude in very hurried manner, but very useful. And your kind presence indicates that this subject is so close to your heart, and that's why you are here sitting in this hall. Since the morning, you all are so busy attending different discussions, but this, though being the last, it reflects and it gives us confidence to us as a panelist and also to the policy makers. And Honorable Minister is also with us sitting over at the dais to listen to diverse views of the panel members. And I'm pretty sure that these inputs will be helpful in further strengthening the legislation proposed at the state level. Also in view of the Social Security Code announcement. So we wish all the best to the state of Telangana, and we also wish that the legislation is passed incorporating the labor protection angles in totality so that it becomes a comprehensive act for the platform economy, taking into account the needs of the workers and also the businesses, so that both go together and there is a perfect ecosystem to do the business and protect the workers' rights. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the patience, for the love for Telangana, everyone in the room. Time for felicitating our honorable speakers and panelists. Ladies and gentlemen, I request our honorable minister, please do the honors. Giving up for Professor Vasanti Garu from NALSAR and also give a big round of applause to her. Thank you so much. Then we have Aishwarya from OMI Foundation. Moving on, we have Advocate M. Radhakrishna Murthy Garu with a huge round of applause. Thank you, sir. Moving on, we have Telangana Gig Workers Union Ninchi, Sheikh Salahuddin President. Give a big round of applause. President, Telangana Gig Workers Union. time to felicitate our honorable moderator. Give a big round of applause for Mr. Ranjit Prakash, ILO, with a huge round of applause. Can we request all of you to please come forward, 2 steps forward for a group picture, please? Ladies and gentlemen, can I hear it aloud for all the panelists, all the speakers, and each and every one of you who have been patient throughout for a productive session, one after the other. Huge round of applause. Thank you so much for being such a wonderful and patient audience. Thank you so much for making this a grand success on the day one. We meet yet again with another amazing set of sessions tomorrow, with same energy and more josh. Ladies and gentlemen, signing off, this is MC Anusha Vari. Until we meet again tomorrow morning. Thank you.